So in the material world, we're hearing, well, also in the spiritual world, we're always hearing sounds. But in the material world, the sounds are material sounds, right? And they don't touch us, the spirit soul. So we have this desire for peace and happiness and fulfillment. We have a desire for knowledge, which is why there's all the podcasts and YouTube things and, you know, like there's a lot of info out there, right? They call it information overload. I think there's another word for it though. And, you know, it's like people have a hunger for knowledge. They have a hunger trying to find something that's actually going to satisfy me, that's actually going to really kind of like touch me in the core of my heart and give me the satisfaction. And so like that YouTube didn't do it, well, it was interesting or whatever, but, you know, the next one looks interesting, or maybe, you know, fourth one down, or, you know, but do you know what I mean? It's like we're looking for something to actually touch our heart. But material sound and material knowledge doesn't actually touch us, the pure soul. We're an eternal spiritual being, and the only thing that's actually really going to touch us is spiritual sound, transcendental sound. Material sound just doesn't do it, right? You get some happiness. I mean, you know, get some happiness. Like a parent with a little tot that's just learning to speak, they get happiness from hearing the sweet words of their small children when they're not throwing a tantrum. Those words don't sound quite so appealing, all those sounds. You know, there's all sorts of pleasant sounds. You know, like I love the sounds of blackbirds. I've been attacked once, but but I love their warble. You know, it's like it's just to me, it's a really nice sound. You know, I don't like the sound of jackhammers. You know, there's different sounds that we're attracted to. You know, maybe waves lapping on a shore. You know, all sorts of sounds, and some sounds will give us some happiness, and some sounds give us like a sense of like, oh my God, you know, like where's my earplugs? You know, where's my headphones? You know, to try and block that sound out. So when Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, he said to Arjuna, listen to my, oh, I don't know how well I'll go at my quote, listen to my supreme word, which I shall impart unto you for your benefit, and which will give you great joy. So the personality of Godhead is giving, this is in 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. He's advising Arjuna to listen attentively to his words. And we may question, well, why? You know, why would I listen to Krishna? And why is he saying, you know, my dear friend, O mighty armed Arjuna? Krishna is speaking to Arjuna because Arjuna is his devotee and his friend. And we're all friends of Krishna. We're all part of Krishna, and he loves us all. We may not be devoted at this point in time, or we may be devoted to the Supreme Lord to different degrees. But here he's relating to Arjuna as, I will impart this transcendental knowledge to you because you're not envious of me and you're my dear friend. That we come to the material world because we're envious of God. We want to be the enjoyer. We want to be the number one. And so when we kind of get tired of that, or we sort of feel like, my God, you know, something's missing, I'm still not happy, I still haven't found what I'm looking for, then if we turn to Krishna's words, we will actually gradually experience joy from hearing them, from reading them, because it's transcendental sound. Krishna's imparting this knowledge to us about spiritual life and about our identity because he cares about us. He wants us to be happy. So he's giving us this information, and then it's up to us whether we want to take it or not. And in the beginning we may be not so sure, you know, it's like, you know, we have a hard time pronouncing Bhagavad Gita, you know, if a person comes across it's like, what was that again, you know? It actually means Song of God. And if you break it down, it's a bit easier. But, you know, it's like it's foreign for us. or for most of us. And then when we try and read it, it's like most of it just goes right over our head as well. But we will experience some purification from hearing Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita. And so if we can try and be more in the mood of Arjuna, of more surrendered, and just kind of open ourselves and go, okay, I'll try and listen to Krishna with an open heart and an open mind. And he never asks us to blindly believe anything, but to take it within the core of our heart and question. You know, like when this discourse of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna heaps of questions. And at the end, Krishna said, have you heard all this attentively? You know, it's like, are your illusions now dispelled? And if not, I'll speak it again, you know, basically, right? It's like, you know, just like a teacher who cares about their student, they try and explain something to them, and then you check, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's natural if you care about someone. If you don't care, to be like, well, I told you what I did, and, you know, it's up to you. You heard it once. Krishna's not like that. So Krishna's word has full potency. But for us to benefit from it, we need to have some degree of faith that at least I'll listen, and at least I'll try and chant. So Krishna's words, Krishna's names, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, they're all absolute. So when we're chanting Krishna's names, it's not different than reading Bhagavad Gita, because Krishna is there in his names. And just like, if the sun is shining and it's not discriminating who it shines upon. You know, like there can be prisoners in the courtyard, just anybody and everybody, you know, dogs, anything. The sun is shining indiscriminately. But I can choose to shut myself in a room and have the blinds down and just, you know, not let any of that warmth of the sun touch my heart and touch my body and give me the nourishment and everything that we get from the sun. Unless it's 40 degrees, you probably do have your blinds closed, but, you know, if it's not Adelaide, you know, if it's spring or autumn or just, you know, a mellow summer day, you know, we have a choice whether we place ourselves in the warmth of the sun and get the benefit of it, or whether we hide away in our house with everything closed up. And so it's the same with the instructions that Krishna is offering. He's offering them to Arjuna and to all of us. That if you want to know the truth, if you actually want to be joyful, then we do need to come in contact with Krishna. He's our supreme friend. So he's saying, you know, it says that in the Bhagavad Gita quite often, you know, it's like Krishna is saying he's our dearest friend. And so we can have some faith that we can listen to Krishna and we can digest as much as we can. You know, obviously we can't digest that which goes over our head, but we just kind of place ourselves and listen and absorb Krishna's names, take them into our heart, and be happy with whatever understanding, whatever realization, whatever we gain from it, and try and apply that in our daily life. So when we chant and we feel the happiness and the joy from it, in our daily life, when we're not feeling happiness and joy, then we can remember, oh, chanting, that brought me happiness and joy. But if we sit and we try and go, okay, I'm going to chant and I'm going to get happy and joyful, it may not quite be like that, right? We just have to open ourselves up and just let Krishna's names wash over us, just bathe us, and they will purify our heart and mind and give us that full satisfaction that we seek. So you won't have the same drive or kind of need to go searching for something else, because you already have that inner satisfaction, inner peace and inner joy from reconnecting with Krishna. So that is actually the goal of the human form of life. It's for us, the eternal spirit soul, to reconnect with Krishna and find joy in Krishna. He wants us to be happy. He knows when we chant his names, it will bring us happiness and it will purify our heart and mind, so that natural happiness, that natural fulfillment, and that natural joy will gradually manifest more and more. Thank you.